Hello, everyone. Welcome to another episode of For the Fans. We are currently watching the Broncos and Seahawks game as we are recording this episode, and I'm just
Not
saying,
going like you thought it would.
no, I thought the Broncos would be up by like 16-3 by now.
Yeah, and it's 4th and 20 right now. Seahawks scored a field goal,
Sheesh, it's
10-3.
fourth and 20. Yeah, and I was like, the Seahawks are winning is the thing that's blowing my mind at the moment.
Yep, it's wild.
Anyways,
With that being said, we'll keep an eye on things as we go through this. But yeah, I don't know. That's interesting.
I mean, the week one has been off to an interesting start so far.
Yeah, that's putting it lightly. And I mean, of course, before we even go into some of the things that you know we have to describe from week one, we always have to talk about. There's always something coming out with the injury reports, and obviously we've got a couple of big names that have fallen on this list. Um, so we'll go through it really quickly. First one we've got is reigning Defensive Player of the Year, T.J. Watt. He's got apparently a torn pectoral, but I have read that he is seeking other options and other opinions as far as doctors to see if maybe there's a possibility he can still play. That's my understanding, at least.
Yeah, man, it'd be a big blow for that Steelers defense if TJ Watt goes down.
Absolutely. But even bigger loss, definitely, because for some people, I think it was even Stephen A. Smith, obviously, world's biggest Dallas Cowboys hater. Um, he's, he's basically already said, hang up the cleats, Cowboys, your season's over, because Dak Prescott went down with his thumb injury. It's supposed to put him out 6 to 8 weeks. He had surgery today, and he is out for that time. And there's already a lot of other injuries that have compromise situations for the Cowboys that they said don't worry about. Well, now it's a really big problem. Let's just leave it at that.
All right, and then there's so many that there's even some not on our list. I'm finding out more and
Mm-hmm.
more.
Right, right.
But Matt Jones hurt his back. Chris Godwin hamstring. Keenan Allen also hamstring.
Mm-hmm.
Donovan Smith elbow. Kyle Fuller ACL. Kyle Fuller quarterback for the Ravens. And then one more that wasn't on our list I forgot to type in was Najee Harris.
Right, foot injury.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
A
So
lot,
here's my
lot of injuries.
yeah, and then here's my understanding. Najee Harris, there's still, from what I've heard, it's still not confirmed if that's going to be a big thing.
Yeah, they're thinking that he aggravated his Lisfranc injury, but he should be
Right.
fine.
Yep. And Mac Jones, he's fine. They said his back X-rays came back fine. Keenan Allen, I'm under the impression that his is probably going to be fine. Donovan Smith, I don't know that one. I think from what I read is not good.
Donovan Smith
Chris
was the
Godwin,
one that told you about, right?
I know Donovan Smith was playing for the Bucks, and I put that
Oh.
one down this morning. He went down with an elbow injury. You said
Uh,
there was an Eagles player who was hurt too.
yeah. Trying to see if I can
That was
find him.
Derek Barnett. Derek Barnett, defensive
Yeah.
line. Yeah, so he's out as well. Um, I think part of that, I don't know what's going to happen with Chris Godwin because, I mean, he just came back from the ACL and MCL injury. Now he's got a hamstring problem. And Kyle Fuller is out for the season with the torn ACL.
A lot of injuries happening.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, that's actually funny. Makes me happy.
Uh-oh.
So quick recap. Last week we did our preseason awards and everything.
Right.
Apparently Trayvon Walker is now the favorite to win Defensive Rookie of the Year.
Huh, well, that'll make you happy.
Yeah, I mean he had an interception, a fumble, a forced fumble, all sorts of stuff.
Well, it's easy to do when your quarterback you're up against is Carson Wentz, but I'm just saying.
Shut up.
Here's the thing, though. To segue into that, Shane, you may remember both of us said that we could consider Brandon Staley being the coach of the year for this year. Right here to kick off our wows for for this episode. One of the coaches we want to talk about is the Giants coach, Brian Dable.
Yeah.
He made an aggressive play call, and the Giants go for it on two, getting those 2 points, and then they end up getting their first win of the season against the Tennessee Titans, thanks to that aggressive play calling. And to me, I find that very impressive because I remember that was not a game I was paying much attention to, and then I looked and saw the final score was 21-20, and the Giants won. I said, "Wait, did I read that right?"
I was thinking the same thing. Apparently, Saquon looked like his old self and not the injured one, but the actual dominant running back that he was.
Rookie of the Year, Saquon Barkley.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe that's going to work in Dable's offensive scheme. I don't know. We'll have to see. I'd be very curious to see if perhaps maybe within the next 2 to 3 games we still see a dominant Saquon Barkley, and whether that it just comes down to his coaching.
You never know, honestly.
Yeah. Moving on, next little wow we got to talk about is obviously the team that I believe scored the highest amount of points this Week 1 matchup was the Kansas City Chiefs. They scored 44 points compared to the Arizona Cardinals' 21 points, and they did that without Tyreek Hill. I know there were some question marks as far as whether the Chiefs would still be able to stay dominant without Tyreek Hill, but they're able to do it with that authoritative win over the Cardinals. Yes, I understand the Cardinals have injuries, and that's the way that it goes, but still, I think the thing that we need to mention, though, still, is the Chiefs are still good. Losing Tyreek Hill did not change that.
That is very true. The Chiefs kind of made the Cardinals look like. I want to say the Jets, but I feel like the Jets would not have done that well.
Yes.
But I was thinking the Cardinals would be like one of the better teams, but that is not the case apparently.
No, they're off to a shaky start, and I think we'll get into that a little bit more later as far as where the rankings are going to set up. Shane, before we go into our next wow, we do need to report a touchdown alert. It is now tied 10 apiece between the Broncos and the Seahawks. Wilson threw his first touchdown as a Bronco.
Who'd he throw it to?
Not telling me to who.
Let me see if I can find it. Touchdown. Jerry Jeudy.
Ah, yes. It's probably either him or Cortland Sutton.
Wow. It was a 67-yard touchdown.
Almost felt like a Hail Mary to say, hey, yeah. I can do something.
Basically.
All right, go ahead with the next one, Shane.
Sorry, all my stuff broke for a minute, so I was trying to pull the game back up. I'll worry about it in a minute. Okay. So, next up, we got the Bills Mafia Dominance, which I was very happy about this one, where the Bills just completely dominated the defending Super Bowl champions, the Rams, with, honestly, a phenomenal defense and some impressive plays by Josh Allen. Don't get me wrong, there were a couple of interceptions and turnovers going both ways, but all in all, I think that was one of the more fun games to watch.
To a certain extent, it had me a little scratching my head as far as the amount of turnovers that were happening.
I agree with that.
We'll just say this, Shane: if you had the Buffalo Bills as your defense for your fantasy, you enjoyed that game.
Oh, I don't know if I have them in any of mine personally.
With Stafford throwing 3 interceptions, yeah, that was huge.
Didn't they also get a fumble or something?
Yes, they did.
See, there were some impressive defenses this week.
Yeah, I absolutely agree. And I think we even saw that as far as, teams that it's very apparent in teams that already were rivals, you know what I mean? So if it was a division rivalry game, you definitely saw a lot of the defense going at it, stifling the offense, knowing the type of offensive scheme. And, we saw that, of course, with 2 teams that we already had our first 2 overtimes of this season. We had the Colts and the Texans who went into overtime, and we had the Steelers and Bengals who went into overtime. And there's a lot to be said about both of those games because the Colts and Texans, it's the first week of competition, and the Colts and Texans are the first tie of the season. Neither of them got the win in overtime.
The best part about that is that even that with that tie, the AFC South, not a single team has a win, even though two of the teams face each other.
Yes, absolutely.
I find it
And
funny.
what was that? Sorry.
Oh, I was just saying I find it funny.
Well, I mean that's beneficial since your team plays in that division. It kind of means that it could potentially be anyone's division still. Um, I would say this as well if, and again this is all speculation at this point because um, for this to work, the Seahawks would have to lose this game here, which it's still up in the air. It's a tie game. If the Seahawks do lose, then also the NFC West, not a single team in the NFC West has won a game either, and so their division is very much still for the taking. You could see.
That's true. This is very true.
But we do want to mention too, Bengals and Steelers also went into overtime, and that game was wild because Joe Burrow, who has kind of been considered the current new wonderkind of the NFL and had the comeback player of the year award last year, all that stuff. He had 5 turnovers.
Yeah,
and
he did.
That along with
Go ahead.
Go ahead. I was going to say that along with a bunch of missed field goals is what eventually led to the Steelers getting the win. It did not go well for the Bengals yesterday.
Yeah, and sheesh. I was kind of shocked. I started him this week. I'm like, oh, Joe Burrow's a good quarterback, and 5 interceptions was not helpful in the slightest bit.
No, not at all. But that covers as far as the overtime situation. Let's talk about some other things here, Shane, that they're not good. Let's just leave it at that. I think
our woes!
Yes, our woes. The first one that I do need to at least bring up, because it kind of covers a bunch of different teams, if you know what I mean. It's the fact that we just saw a lot of rust from these teams, especially on the offensive side. Whether it's the Raiders, the Packers, the Bucks, Dolphins. I feel like there were just a lot of strange performances this first week. We're hoping that there's kind of some more impressive displays in the following week. I understand some things happen. There's injuries to the Cardinals. Aaron Rodgers has no receivers. Buccaneers O-line is decimated. Stuff like that.
a bad quarterback.
Maybe.
Please tell me you saw that pass that he attempted.
I did. But I kind of looked at it and I was like, apart from Josh Allen, what is there else to expect from AFC East quarterbacks? You know what I mean?
That's a sad world the AFC East lives in right now.
Yeah, well, unless you're a Bills fan.
Bills fan, you're living the life at the moment.
Absolutely. That does bring me to a funny story. Yesterday I was talking to a friend of mine who did not know that I was a Chicago Bears fan. And he said, "You're a Bears fan, really?" And he said, "Why?" And I have to laugh about it a little bit because the tone in his voice is very much, why would you subject yourself to that kind of level of humiliation and suffering?
Hey, at least you guys have a Super Bowl ring.
Yes, I understand that, which is kind of what I put out there. But I said to him, well, then who's your team? And he goes, well, I'm a Kansas City Chiefs fan. And I said, so you've dealt with, difficult times. And he said, no. Yes, but they're over now.
I was going to say, I'm like, or did he become a Chiefs fan once they got Patrick Mahomes and he started doing well?
Well, he said he grew up in Kansas City. So.
Okay, I can believe that.
Yeah, I don't know if I want to validate that claim that he made, but who cares? Whatever. Here's another thing that I do want to bring up, though. This is our next woe, and this one honestly is not surprising when you think about it. But
oh my gosh,
Atlanta blew another fourth quarter lead.
I saw a meme today, and it literally just has a list of all the fourth quarter leads that Atlanta has blown.
Well, no, I'm looking, you've got this one, of course, where they led for most of the game. I was really bummed because I had Cordero Patterson on my bench, and he ended up getting some great points. But they fell apart against the Saints, and the Saints mounted a comeback, took the lead, blocked a field goal attempt, and got a win. Just looking at that there, this is just another classic example of the Falcons just falling apart in the fourth quarter. Some other ones that I'm thinking of, it was during the 2020 season. Week 2, they lost to the Cowboys. Fourth quarter, mistakes made that, led to a choke. The very next week, they did the same thing against the Chicago Bears. And of course, let's not forget their biggest choke in history, which was Super Bowl 51.
Oh, 28-3, never forget.
Mm-hmm. It's a rough life to be a Falcons fan. Let's just say that.
Like, I get a lot of crap for being a Jaguars fan, but I'm like, hey, at least we know that we're consistently bad. We don't give our. I'm like, my team doesn't give us hope where it's like, hey, we're leading the entire game only to choke it by like 20 plus points in the fourth quarter.
Yeah.
Speaking of not winning, we're gonna talk about Baker. Good old Baker Mayfield.
Quick
What?
little update: the Seahawks scored a touchdown.
Oh wow, your game is. Oh yep, I just saw it now. I was like, your game's a little ahead of mine. Then I immediately saw it happen. Anyway, anyways, wow, Russell looks pissed. They panned to him on the bench. He's like, man, I should have stayed.
It's okay. He got me enough points at least to win in fantasy this week.
Anyways, Baker Mayfield, after being traded finally to the Carolina Panthers, was talking a lot of crap and saying that he was going to destroy his old team, the Cleveland Browns. And that didn't happen.
Oh.
Not by a long shot, really.
No, it almost did. It was close.
It was close, but not quite there.
Well, no, I mean the Panthers had the lead for most of the time, but then they kind of did the same thing that the Falcons did, and they caved way for the Browns to get the win.
Yeah, I feel like a lot of defenses were either absolutely dominant or have just done nothing this week.
Or they got gassed in the fourth quarter. I don't know.
You're not gonna let the Falcons thing drop, are you?
No, I'm just being realistic here that it could have just been they just got tired.
Fair point.
Yeah.
Speaking of tired, are you getting tired of the refs? Because I know I
am. Yeah, with some calls. I know which call you're referring to in regards to the Bears and 49ers game yesterday, which when you think about why the penalty was given, it makes sense. And obviously this is our last woe. Our last woe is what we call the weirdest penalty ever, which, for those who don't know, and honestly, if you're paying attention to football, it's been brought up a lot over the past few days because people have been so confused by it. Past few hours, because people have been confused about it ever since it happened yesterday. But the Bears were assessed as unsportsmanlike conduct because the rookie holder brought out a towel to basically try and smooth out, flatten the surface of this super, super flooded and rainy Soldier Field, essentially to set up for a field goal. Didn't work because the refs said you can't bring a foreign object to help with an advantage for, the game, in this case, the field goal. And so it was called back 15 yards. Bears had to punt. It makes sense, the rules being said that way. Felt like it kind of threw the Bears off a little bit because after that, their kicker, Cairo Santos, couldn't hit anything. It was just interesting. Let's just leave it at that. Also, too, that is like one of the most flooded stadiums in a game I think I've ever seen. That was nuts.
The comments I was seeing about is like, hey, everybody remember playing rainy day football where everything was just wet and that was what you played in? Yeah, it reminds me of that.
Yeah. One thing that I did find very entertaining, though, that I will at least bring up is...
When you guys won the game?
Well, yes, but here's the funny part with that. I can't remember, I don't know how to say his name properly, but he's a big Packers fan, has a big following talk... Is it Grossi or Grossi? I'm not sure. I guess it's Grossi.
It's Grossi, because he says Grossi Posse.
Okay, sounds good. So anyway, with Grossi, he tweeted or something like that where he said, "Wow, the fields in Chicago are looking absolutely terrible." And of course, he's referencing not only Soldier Field but Justin Fields. And needless to say, he got a lot of flack for it, where people said, "Oh, this aged well," because obviously the Bears won the game. And of course, most of the comments were, "Hey, Grossi, at least the Bears can beat the 49ers, unlike the Packers."
I like Grossi, though. Like, even though he's a Packers fan and you don't like Packers fans, I think he's funny. He's just having fun.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I just thought it was really funny how how well that comment aged, if you know what I mean.
My favorite part of the Bears 49ers game was when you guys won and just all your players stormed the field and just slid
Just
into the end
slide.
zone on the water.
Well, wouldn't you do that? I
Oh
would.
yeah, it was a giant slip and slide.
It was awesome.
I
All
mean,
right.
the only other celebration I think is better than that is Jalen Waddle when he scores a touchdown. He does a little penguin waddle.
That's true. I do enjoy that.
I enjoy that so much.
Well, and as a basketball fan, I still believe that the greatest touchdown celebration of all time comes from Seahawks players who recreated the infamous Allen Iverson step over Tyrone Lue. I thought that was the funniest thing ever because when I saw it, I bust up laughing because I was like, that was the Allen Iverson. And it was, to this day, is my favorite touchdown celebration of all time.
There's some good ones. I'm glad that the NFL decided, you know what? Let's bring back celebrations. Let the players have fun.
Yeah, absolutely. As long as it's not Odell Beckham Jr. trying to pee like a dog on the field.
Hey, you got that from Snoop Dogg.
Yep.
Oh boy.
All right. Let's go into our week 2 predictions. First one up we got is another divisional matchup. Thursday Night Football is the Los Angeles Chargers versus the Kansas City Chiefs, and no, it's not in Mexico City.
Although what people would do to see that game again.
Although what people would do to see the Chargers back in San Diego.
Oh, trust me, I know. my parents were diehard Charger fans. They wish they were in San Diego right now.
I think a lot of Californians do, especially Chargers fans.
I mean, I think having 2 teams in LA is kind of horrible, but that's just me.
The Lakers and the Clippers, the Angels and the Dodgers, and technically the Ducks and the Kings would like to have a word with you.
I don't care. Remember when the Raiders played in a baseball field?
I do remember that.
Yeah, I stand by my point. It works for some teams, does not work for others.
Oh, it definitely. Well, the Raiders have moved everywhere, though. Don't bring the Raiders into this because
the Rams have also moved everywhere.
Yes, they have.
Although the thing is, the Rams actually had a fan base in LA before they moved there. The Chargers didn't, so it's like, oh, well, we're all Rams fans, so why would we go to a Chargers game?
Okay, but you say that the Rams had a fan base there, but not really, because remember that NFC Championship game last year between the Niners and the Rams? It was in SoFi Stadium, the Rams' home stadium, and who dominated the fan base? 49ers fans.
That's very true. I mean, what
there wasn't a Rams fan in sight.
The Jets and the Giants also share a field.
Mm-hmm.
But see, nobody cares about those teams, so it doesn't really matter if they share a field.
Yeah, okay, moving on, because yeah, that could trigger some people. Okay. Thursday Night Football. Anyway, back to the Chargers and the Chiefs. We both picked the Chiefs to win. You're saying the Chiefs win 37-33. I'm saying the Chiefs win 28-24. We're saying the Chiefs get the win, but it's close because it's a divisional matchup. And the Chargers, at least with their offense, it's not really anything to say, that's not very good. They won't do much. They will. They're good.
Yep, they are good. Honestly, I think these two are going to be the front runners for the AFC West, and I feel like the Chargers could very easily get a wild card spot.
I'm glad you said that. Hold on to that, though, because we're going to talk about that at the end of this episode.
But who do you have as your matchup monster?
Okay. Obviously I want to try and go for the originality here, but I'm going to say that a big matchup monster is Joey Bosa, and that he's going to register a real, poignant, game-changing sack on Patrick Mahomes.
So what you're saying is, the Chiefs are going to be up by a good amount, Bosa's going to come in, get a huge sack, and then the Chargers are going to start to rally back?
Yeah, but I don't think they'll win.
Okay. I have one, and I'm going only off of last week.
Let's hear it.
Mine is Isaiah Pacheco.
Okay.
The rookie running back. He led the Chiefs' running offense with the most carries for the most yards and got the only rushing touchdown.
Right.
Or,
okay.
Wow. Chiefs can do some good things with Patrick Mahomes.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. Okay, moving on here to the Sunday games. We've got the New England Patriots versus the Pittsburgh Steelers. We both picked the Steelers to win. You said 21-18. I said 24-17. Mostly because we were kind of looking at it and we're saying, well, the Patriots offense is broken. The Steelers offense isn't actually all that great, if you ask me. Especially if Harris is hurt, the O-line's still a mess, Trubisky's your quarterback. It's not an all-star team. Let's just leave it at that.
My other thing is also the Steelers' best defensive player did just get hurt and is out for who knows how long.
But I'm going to give you another matchup monster who I would say with TJ Watt is now the best defensive player for the Steelers. And I'm going to say the matchup monster for this game will be Minkah Fitzpatrick.
You know what? I don't think I can disagree with you. He had a few good plays last week. I think he can continue that streak again.
I think he could. He's actually a very good safety.
Oh, yeah. One of the best.
Oh, yes. Absolutely. All right. Then we got the Panthers versus the New York Giants. And Shane, it feels so weird to say it, but we're going with the Giants to get a win here. And they'll go 2-0.
Very weird.
They'll go 2-0. You say 20-17. I say 23-22. Giants win it. Do you want to pick any other matchup monster besides Saquon Barkley and hope that he pulls off what he did in week 1?
You know me. I'm going to go for weirder pits. You can say Saquon. I'm going to go with Christian McCaffrey. I know it sounds weird. That sounds very weird coming out of my mouth.
Hey, I'm a little hesitant to go with that one because it feels like the Panthers don't know how to run an offensive scheme with McCaffrey at this point. Now, keep in mind when I say this, McCaffrey is still supposed to be the star of the show. Baker Mayfield should know that. Panthers fans know that. McCaffrey is the best offensive player on that team. The Panthers are so focused on making sure he does not get hurt that they're being careful with him. And because of that, they almost don't know what to do with him. Does that make sense?
Yeah, no, that makes sense. I'm just going with CMC. It's going to be a battle of the running backs for me.
Okay. All right. Fair enough. Then we have the New York Jets versus the Cleveland Browns.
Russell Wilson threw a bad pass and almost got intercepted in the end zone just now.
Well, thankfully he did not.
Yeah, you need those points.
I don't want him to get dropped off the edge because of an interception.
Anyways.
Jets versus Browns. We both picked the Browns to win. You said 27-12. I said 24-7. Who's your matchup monster in this game?
I'm going to go with Kareem Hunt.
Okay, I'm going to go with Nick Chubb.
You know what? Fine. Be that way.
I will.
I was like, who had more yards last week? Oh, Kareem Hunt by a lot. Or no, not Kareem Hunt. Nick Chubb by a lot.
Yeah.
Hey, Hunt got the touchdown, so...
He did. You are not wrong. Okay. Next game we got is the Indianapolis Colts versus the Jacksonville Jaguars. Shane, you picked the Colts to win 23-20. I picked the Jaguars to win 23-20.
You know what? I'm changing it. I'm changing it because I just remembered something and I'm an idiot.
And the thing that you forgot is they're playing in Jacksonville.
Yep.
When was the last time the Colts won a game in Jacksonville?
I think when Andrew Luck was playing.
I believe it was 2014.
I think it was a little after that.
Need to look this up.
2014.
I am so good.
Oh boy.
With that being said, matchup monster. I'm really high on the possibility of James Robinson making a comeback here because clearly I don't know what was going on with Travis Etienne yesterday.
What do you mean making a comeback? James Robinson was the backbone of that team yesterday.
No, comeback as in comeback player of the year.
Oh yeah, I told you. Comeback player of the year might become James Robinson now.
His comeback player of the year campaign, he's going to continue it.
The thing that blows my mind is that he tore his ACL at the end of last season. He was not supposed, like most ACL tears, he was expected to come back maybe week 3, week 4. He came back for the season opener and performed well.
Yeah.
With the very limited touches that he got, might I add.
Well, hopefully they recognize that and they don't try and pull an Urban Meyer with Carlos Hyde.
Yeah, for real. I mean, he averaged 6 yards a carry. I mean, Travis Etienne did average 11.8, but he only had 4 carries.
Mm-hmm.
And he dropped a potential touchdown and fumbled the ball. Yeah, he was not great yesterday.
Now, granted, it was technically his first pro game.
It was, but still, I expected better from someone who has that college buddy hookup.
Yeah, I suppose.
Especially
But it
when
is
he
the
was
NFL.
wide open with nobody near him and he goes to catch the ball, he catches it, and then he essentially just, it looks like he basically caught it in his hand for half a second and then just threw it straight to the ground.
But it's the NFL. It's not college. Things can change.
You should be able to catch a soft floater dump pass that's maybe 3 yards away from you.
Okay, yeah, but at the same time, too, it's not the first time the Jaguars have been expected to do something
You know what? Shut up. We don't need to go there.
unexpected. Because remember, Urban Meyer said they should be getting over 200 yards passing and rushing. I say
Yeah.
that facetiously because it's the NFL and that doesn't happen. And
Yeah.
Urban
Do you
Meyer
know how
clearly
much
knew-
faith I had in Urban Meyer when he was hired? I was even telling you, I'm like, I don't know if this is the right choice, but
I remember. Speaking of which, it's halftime right now with the Broncos and the Seahawks. The Broncos did get a field goal. It is 17-13 at halftime.
Yep. Hopefully Russell Wilson can honestly bounce back a little bit because he is looking rough.
Yeah, but it is his old team, and honestly too, Seahawks fans, they're mean. I mean, that is their best quarterback of all time, and they boo him nonstop.
I know. Like, I know a Seahawks fan, and he's like, I'm rooting for Russell Wilson. It's sad because he's no longer on our team. But I want him to have a good career and everything.
Yeah, for sure. Well, it was funny because Broncos fans were like, we would never do that to Von Miller.
They would never do that to Peyton Manning. Manning was only there for like 2 seasons.
Yeah, true. Okay. Moving on here, we've got Sunday morning. Continued. Dolphins versus Ravens. Now, Shane, you picked the Dolphins 24-22. I picked the Ravens 27-19. Let's hear your reasoning for that.
You know, honestly, I'm just going with the gut feeling at the moment.
Okay, all right.
I was like, to be honest, I think Tua is not the answer at quarterback, but I think the rest of that Dolphins team is fairly solid. I don't think they're great, but I think they're pretty solid and maybe a couple of players away from being a playoff caliber team.
Okay. So my reasoning, though, as well I'm going with the Ravens is I know the Ravens can be good, and I'm not attesting that just to week one, because obviously they played the freaking Jets, but they are bouncing back from all the injuries last season. And if they didn't have all those injuries, they still would have made the playoffs and at least maybe won a game. So I still am high on the Ravens' abilities, and I believe they are still a better team than the Dolphins. The Dolphins could get there, but they're not there yet. I've got the Ravens winning.
Okay, who's your matchup monster then?
Maybe the entire Ravens defense?
You know what?
Against Tua? Come on.
I'm putting it down. I'm just putting it down. I'm not questioning. Even though they lost one of their starting cornerbacks.
Kyle Fuller's not that good.
Yeah, but he's one of their starters.
Yeah, that's true.
I am saying Jalen Waddle.
Fair enough.
I want to see more Penguin celebrations.
Tampa Bay Buccaneers versus New Orleans Saints. You've got the Bucs winning 17-14. I've got the Saints winning 21-17. Shane, the only reason I've got the Saints winning here is because I feel like, first of all, the Saints have the Bucs number, especially when it comes to Tom Brady in the regular season. It just doesn't seem to go well for him. Secondly, the Saints defense has made it seem like they can actually do things well when it counts, like including, at least blocking the field goal there at the end, maybe, at least making the comeback. I can't really use last week as a good...
Yeah, I was gonna say, if you used last week as an example...
No, I'm not going to, but I feel like it can be done against the Buccaneers, especially with the fact that Tom Brady's O-line is not in great shape. And the
That's a
fact
good
that the
point.
Saints, if we go off of history, like we were with the Jaguars and Colts, with the Colts playing in Jacksonville, and the fact that the Colts always get off to a rough start at the beginning of the season, that is my reasoning for saying that the Saints will beat the Bucs.
Okay. So who do you have as your matchup monster then?
Let's go with Michael Thomas. Because
Michael Thomas.
I feel like he's going to start making his comeback player of the year campaign as well.
I'm going to go with Leonard Fournette. I feel like they're going to be running the ball a lot more and doing what Leonard Fournette does best is just
Sure.
running it up the middle and trying to just run through things.
Yeah, I would agree. Hey, then we've got the Washington Commanders versus the Detroit Lions. You've got the Commanders winning 24-23. I've got the Lions winning 30-24. I'm taking a bit of a gamble here, saying that the Lions are going to win because it's the Lions.
Hey,
But
they did good against the Eagles.
exactly, it was close, and I believe that the Lions have a more solid unit than the Commanders do. Plus, I don't really see how the Commanders' defense is going to keep back DeAndre Swift.
Ooh, that is a good point. DeAndre
So
Swift
that's
is going to
why,
be a nightmare.
and that's why he's my matchup monster for this game.
Yeah, I figured you would go there. Mine, uh, I forgot how to spell his name. The rookie wide receiver, Johan Dotson. Johan Dotson. Dotson. I'm just gonna say Dotson.
Okay.
I'm not gonna try to pronounce his first name.
Okay. We've got, now moving into the afternoon, we've got the Seahawks versus the 49ers. We both pick the 49ers to win. You say 24-21. I say 20-10. My matchup monster in this game, I'm going to go with Brandon Ayuk.
Oh, your boy from Arizona.
Why do you say that with such, just lack of enthusiasm? Everybody's like,
Because
oh, of
because I know how
course.
much you love Brandon Ayuk.
What's wrong with that?
I'm just waiting for one day Brandon sorry, watching the game and it's the halftime commercial and they're showing all the big plays. I looked over it and I immediately saw the entire Miami Dolphins fan base doing the penguin waddle.
Oh, jeez.
You know,
Obsession. Okay, hang on. You're giving me a hard time for having like, a profound like for Brandon Ayuk, and you're over here completely drooling over Jalen Waddle.
I'm not drooling over him. I saw fans doing his little penguin dance and thought it was funny.
I know, but you brought him up like 3 times in this episode.
The waddle is funny, and I can't help that when it pops up on the TV and I see it, I gotta mention it because it's funny.
Okay, sure.
Little
Whatever.
Mr. Broncos Country, let's ride.
Broncos country. That's right.
I think it's more of the question mark right now.
Yeah. Sorry. Hang on. Broncos country. Let's ride. And if the Broncos lose this game, Broncos country. I tried.
Oh gosh. You know Bleacher Report and Gridiron Heights is gonna be doing that all season long.
Oh yeah, especially when the Broncos potentially could end up falling apart and not make the playoffs, and then it'll be Broncos country. I died.
Gosh. My matchup monster is Nick Bosa. I'm gonna give it to a defensive player.
I think that's fair, especially with the whole offensive situation with Trey Lance.
Yeah.
Hey,
Yeah.
Falcons versus Rams. We've got the Rams winning 24-14, or for you, 31-14 for me. Matchup monster in this game. I gotta go with Cooper Kupp.
See, good old offensive players do it for you. I want to be fun.
You say that as you pick all of like these supposedly logical picks for wins, whereas I offer interesting different takes as far as why that team is going to win. So don't come at me with that.
I am gonna say Bobby Wagner.
You
Now
be wrong.
what?
You're gonna be wrong. That's what.
Hey, he did good last game.
Yeah, okay,
He did
sure.
better than
Didn't make him
Jalen
the,
Ramsey.
it didn't make him the matchup monster. Same with Ramsey, considering Ramsey was just like, oh, there goes Stephon Diggs. He got a touchdown. And apparently Diggs was jawing with Jalen Ramsey so much that he lost his voice. And in his post-game interview, he's talking like this the entire time. I was like, geez, get Stephon Diggs some water.
You sounded like Morty from Rick and Morty.
Oh, gee, Rick, I don't know. Pickle Rick!
What has this turned into? Anyways.
Oh, come on, that was pretty good.
Oh no, it was. I'm just questioning my sanity at this point.
It's offering some laughs. Let's just leave it at that.
Next up, we got the Cardinals versus the Raiders. Ugh.
We both picked the Raiders to win 27-20. I know you're probably going to say another thing about, oh, well, offensive players do it for you, but I'm going with Darren Waller.
Oh, I'm not mad at that one.
Oh, come on! Think of your mind! Hey,
I'm dying over here.
What was that?
I'm dying a little bit over here.
Okay, we're turning this into a debate. It's good. There's good flow of conversation there, sharing of opinions, and a little bit of jawing back and forth. I'm enjoying it.
This is going to be like my one, like, kind of super obvious pick. I'm going with Davante Adams.
Oh, those offensive players, they just do it for you. Shut up.
Hey, how many defensive players have you picked so far?
I've picked I think I've only picked like one, but whatever.
You picked the Ravens defense. You didn't even pick a defensive player.
Hey! I picked Minkah Fitzpatrick and Joey Bosa. Get out of here.
That's true. You did pick Minkah Fitzpatrick, but we both did. I'll give you Joey Bosa.
I picked Fitzpatrick before you did. You said, I have to agree with you on that one.
Because I do agree.
Get out
You
of
picked
here.
a whole defense.
Yeah! Why wouldn't I?
Because it's lazy!
Will have fun against Tua.
Research and pick one player!
Don't have to. It's going to be an entire monster defense.
You know what? Might as well just say the whole team at that point.
Yeah, sure. Why not? Especially if you're playing against the New York Jets. Why don't you say every member of the team that they're playing against is really, really good?
What? Wait, who? Hold on. I got this.
Okay, all right.
Joe Flacco, matchup monster for the Ravens.
As in, while Flacco plays for the Jets?
Yep.
He's the matchup monster for the Ravens.
Yeah, he's the Ravens matchup monster.
I guess.
He's going to do so bad that he's going to be the Ravens' best player.
Well, I mean, that wasn't entirely what happened yesterday, but maybe a little bit.
Oh, boy. Anyways,
okay.
Texans versus the Broncos. Honestly, looking at our scores, because we both said 34-17 Broncos winning it.
Uh-huh.
Looking at that right now, and watching the Broncos play right now, I don't know how confident I feel in that prediction.
I'll leave it, but I'll still say, and I'll still say that the Broncos win.
I will say the Broncos win, but I think it's going to be by a lot smaller amount.
Yeah, you might be right. That's
okay.
a monster for this game, though. I mean, at this point, I feel like I want to go with Javonte Williams, and all they're going to do is just hand off the ball.
I think I'm going to go with you on that, just because I don't really know what this Broncos team is going to do at the moment.
I think there's still a couple of question marks, but it could be different because they're not playing Wilson's old team. Wilson might shake it off and say, okay, now let's be serious here. You know what I mean?
I'm going to throw in another one. I'm going to say Patrick Surtain.
That? I was going to say put that second on his name.
Oh, I will. I feel like it is very important to his character.
Yes. Okay. last Sunday afternoon football game we've got is the Cincinnati Bengals versus the Dallas Cowboys. Bengals win it 24-13 according to you, 27-17 according to me. That's just because the Cowboys are in complete disarray right now, especially after Dak's injury. Bengals will make a rebound. Matchup monster here. I am going to go with. See, okay, so I'm torn right now between Joe Mixon and Jamar Chase, but I feel like Chase is going to have a better time matchup-wise because there's not going to be Micah Parsons right on top of him.
Mm-hmm.
I'll go with Jamar Chase.
Basic.
Wait, what?
I called you basic.
Oh, jeez. Okay.
I was waiting for you to say Chase just so I could say that.
You must feel so proud.
I am gonna go.
What a great comeback. What a great comeback.
I mean, if I could do it like Kristen Bell in The Good Place, it'd be a lot better. I am gonna go with the tight end in Hayden Hurst.
Watch that not be the case.
Watch it not be the case. You know what? I don't care. I'm being interesting this season. I'm trying.
Okay, well, you're trying in a really weird way.
I am. I don't know if anything will work. Hey, he had a decent game last week or yesterday.
That doesn't mean he's gonna be dynamic and absolutely lights out in the next one.
Hey, you never know.
You're right, I don't, but I can feel pretty certain.
Let me have my moment.
No, you won't let me have mine.
Fine, you can have your moment on the next one you have.
Well, next one is the Bears and the Packers, Sunday Night Football. Which, by the way, interestingly enough, this is the battle for most wins for a team in NFL history. So they're tied right now. Whoever wins this next game has the record for most wins by a team in NFL history.
Wow, you guys are neck and neck.
We are. Now, that's a little unfortunate, at least in the case of, well, I mean, you picked the Bears to win 21-20. I picked the Packers to win 24-14. I understand where you're coming from with that, Shane, as far as saying, well, Lazard's hurt, Rodgers doesn't have any, true wide receivers, but the Bears are a mess right now. I don't know how they got that win against the 49ers. Oh, wait, I do. The Trey Lance experiment doesn't work, especially in really bad weather.
You mean in the flood?
Yeah, literally. It was a flood. There was a flash flood warning. So, with that being said, I've got the Packers winning it. My matchup monster, I'm just going to probably say, because of the wide receiver issue, probably Aaron Jones. Because I'm not really trusting in this defense right now. I could go with Jair Alexander, but I'm not going to.
No, I think Jones is a smart call, honestly.
Yeah.
As for mine, because I want your Bears to hold that record. I don't want the Packers to have it.
That's fair. I agree with that.
I might go defense on this.
Go with Eddie Jackson. I need him to get another interception.
I think he will. I think he will get at least one. I'm hoping for two, but at least one.
I mean, Rodgers doesn't usually throw interceptions, but he got one. He got one yesterday.
Didn't he only get like 4 points in fantasy this week?
Yeah, it was pretty bad.
Yeah, so... Ooh, that was a good hit. Oh, look at Cortland Sutton doing well. Maybe I should have played him despite the risk of losing my matchup by 0.1. Hey, I played it safe this week. It felt weird to do.
Oh, that's good. Good for you.
All right, Tennessee Titans versus the Buffalo Bills. This is going to be a blowout.
I would think so. We both said 22-18. Matchup monster for the Bills.
Oh.
We got for the entire Bills defense. Because I wouldn't fault you for that.
No. I just thought that was funny. I'm going to go with Gabe Davis.
Okay. I am interested to see what they would do with the run game on this one because I think you can kind of work with some of the Titans' injuries. So I'll give it to Devin Singletary.
Oh, I was going to say, you want to give it to Zach Moss?
I'm going with Singletary.
I was like, please don't go with James Cook. I feel so bad for that man.
Yeah.
First
Yeah.
NFL career rushing attempt, and he fumbles it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
I don't even really blame him a whole ton either. He got hit pretty hard on that.
He did. It's true.
It just feels bad because everybody's looking at that as like, oh, he's a horrible running back.
I mean, he was going up against the Rams front, which...
Scary
Yeah.
Rams front.
Okay. Last matchup we have the Minnesota Vikings versus the Philadelphia Eagles. We both got the Vikings winning. You say 30-17. I say 28-23. And look, I know you'll probably say again that I am being basic, but I feel like because he's still fine. I understand like they weren't really guarding him all that well yesterday. The Packers weren't, but I just feel like in Kevin O'Connell's new scheme, and he was even talking about it in a post-game interview, Justin Jefferson is going to make some big plays. So I gotta go with
Justin Jefferson is going to be the monster. Like, no question about that. But my second monster is going to be Kirk Cousins.
I would like to see that.
Hey, he's been a solid quarterback for the Vikings. He's not phenomenal, but he's not bad.
No. He's not elite, but he gets the job done. I'm not going to really rag on him.
Also, the only thing I got rag on is this is our Monday night primetime football matchup.
Yep.
Like this is the primetime football that we're getting? That's a horrible matchup.
Titans and Bills is happening all just a little bit earlier.
I don't care. They had to substitute in order to put the Vikings and Eagles in. They had to give us a potentially better game earlier in the day.
Oh.
That is not what I like to hear. Oh, good old pass interference on the Seahawks, so the Broncos are most likely going to get it within the 5-yard line.
Yep. First and goal, and then yep. Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
All right. So, moving on. Oh, before we do this though, Shane, I did want to ask you a fun little trivia question that I was thinking about, and I was like, I wonder if Shane is going to know the answer to this.
Probably not.
Okay, cool. Well, I'm going to give you a little bit. I'm going to hold your hand a little bit here through it if need be. But because I know you don't pay a ton of attention to college, so I'm going to put you on the hot seat
I
here.
am dead in the water then. I can name like 5 college teams, and that's about it.
That's okay. You're not naming college teams. I need you to tell me how many former Heisman winners are currently on an active roster in the NFL.
I think I heard. Okay, when you say, okay, active roster, so not they can be backups or something, but they have to be on an active roster.
Exactly. So, for example, I'm pretty sure Cam Newton is not on an active roster right now, which means he does not count.
Yeah. And Johnny Manziel's not. I'm going to take a shot in the dark and say 2.
You would be wrong. There are 8.
Hey, that's still very, very little, and how many of them are starters is my follow-up question.
You would be surprised to hear, I believe, all of them.
Really?
Yeah, so there like I said, there are 8 total, and 6 of them are quarterbacks.
Wow, that's kind of lame.
Yeah, so the 2 that are not quarterbacks, okay, because there's going to be no chance that you're going to be able to name them.
No.
You know what I mean. But the 2 that are not quarterbacks are Derrick Henry and Devontae Smith.
Henry won a Heisman Trophy?
He did.
No wonder he's so good at stiff arming. Well, until he got, yeeted yesterday.
Yeah, that went weird, but
it was very weird.
As far as the other the 6 starting QBs, one of them plays in the NFC West. That's Kyler Murray.
Right.
There's 2 in the AFC North, Joe Burrow and Lamar Jackson.
Okay, yeah.
And funny enough, The other three all play in the NFC South as starting quarterbacks, and none of them is
Or Tom
named Tom
Brady.
Brady.
Yeah, I was just
None
saying
of
none
them
of
is
them are
named.
named Tom Brady. Yeah.
Yep,
Mr. Pick, what, 187 or something?
they're 199 or.
What pick was Tom Brady? Time to find that out. I know people are going to be like, you should know that off the top of your head. I'm like, I don't care about Brady. 199 overall.
Knowing, did I say 199?
Yep.
Oh man, I am good.
He was
With
picked
that being said, then you
199.
can. With that being said, you can now pick out who the other three Heisman winning quarterbacks are.
Yep. Interesting. Did not know that there were
Mayfield.
8.
Yep, Mayfield, Mariota, and Winston.
Oh, Winston. Winston is like the funniest person in the league. But
We're gonna eat a W.
I feel like it's because he is just so dumb at the same time.
He does say some wacky stuff.
Did you hear his
Okay.
interview from yesterday, his post-game interview?
I haven't, but I heard it was wacky.
It was very wacky. He had like Michael Thomas standing behind him, and like the reporter asked him a question, and his answer was the question.
Okay, I'm gonna need to watch this later.
I watched that like, what the heck did he just say? And Michael Thomas just looking there, is like, I have no idea what this guy's talking about, but sure, I'll nod my head in agreement.
Jameis Winston's on some stuff, man.
I know people need to find his drug dealer and get some of that.
Seriously, no kidding. Okay, cool. Moving on here. Shane, I think we're gonna skip our fantasy for this week.
That's fine,
You know,
because
because
we
we've been
are
talking about a bunch of different
high on
players.
time.
We are, exactly. So, and I want to get to our For the Fun, which is where we're overreacting to week one. I want to talk about how we think, just based off of how week one looks, how we think the divisions are going to shake out. So, with that being said, let's go down the line of all the divisions and say which team we think is going to win the division, and then we can potentially kind of stack out an idea of who we think the 14 playoff teams are going to be.
Alright, so let's start in the AFC East.
Easy. Go ahead.
Easy. The Buffalo Bills, no question there.
Absolutely. And I would wager, just saying this really quickly, second would be the Dolphins, third the Patriots, fourth the Jets, potential for even for the Patriots and Jets to flip-flop.
Yeah, I can see that.
Yep. AFC North. Okay, you might disagree with me on this, Shane, but I'm going with the Ravens.
I think I can say the Ravens as well.
If not, it's the Bengals. But I'm going to go with saying the Bengals are in second, the Browns are in third, the Steelers are going to be in last.
See, I was going to say the Steelers were going to win it until, all those injuries happened.
That'd be so odd, though, if they did.
Remember when the Steelers were running the AFC North and it was their division forever?
Yes, I do. Remember at one point only 2 years ago when they were 11-0 and then they didn't even win a playoff game?
Yep.
Anyway. AFC West? Yeah, anyway, AFC West?
No question it's the Chiefs.
It's still going to be the Chiefs. It is. I think the Chargers will give them a run for their money, but I think the Chargers are going to come up in second.
I was like, yeah, go ahead.
And I'm going to be honest with you. I was thinking differently this morning, but I think the Raiders might be third and the Broncos are fourth.
Yeah, I'm on the same page with you. I think Chiefs easily take it, Chargers easily second, and now I think the Raiders are third and the Broncos are going to finish last.
They might. I need to see more to know for sure.
Because this game, it is not giving me much hope.
No, not at all. Okay. AFC South. Now this one is wide open.
Wide open for everybody.
My gut is to go with the Colts.
That's your gut. Okay.
What do you think?
I think the Colts are the easy favorite to win.
Mm-hmm.
But they have been struggling right out the gate, and that worries me a little bit.
Sure.
Now, you might call me crazy.
Oh, sorry. Did I say that out loud?
I am going to
Oh.
go with the Titans.
Oh, okay, thank goodness. I thought you were going to go with the Jaguars.
I think the Jaguars need another year or two under their current coaching.
I would agree. So I'm going to go with the Colts just because I believe with some of the Titan situation, with there's some questions around Tannehill. Henry's proven to be mortal. The defense is kind of hurt and not doing all that great. I've got the Colts, but it could easily be the Titans. I've got the Titans in second. I believe the Jaguars would be in third, and the Texans would bring up the rear.
Yep, I think I'll lean with you where the Colts are the easy favorites. So
yeah. Yep. The NFC East, I gotta go with the Eagles.
What is it not about them Cowboys anymore?
No, I actually think the Cowboys are going to be dead last.
Really?
I do. I think they might have to just chalk it up to, this is a wasted season. I think the Eagles will win it. I actually think the Giants will take second, the Commanders in third, the Cowboys will take the back.
It feels dirty saying the Giants in second.
I know, but it also feels really great. But it feels really great to say the Cowboys in last.
On mine, I'm going to flip Giants and Commanders. I can't put the Giants in second. I can't do it just yet. I think they need a new quarterback, and then I'd be more comfortable putting them in second.
Okay, fair enough. But here you look at it this though, with Carson Wentz and what he happens to often do, and he's what you have for the Commanders. At least the Giants have Abel, who's a brand new coach who did well with the Bills, and he might be bringing about a resurgent Saquon Barkley.
Okay, so we have someone commenting, giving their prediction. They said Eagles, Cowboys, Commanders, then Giants, and no one can convince him that Jones is going to win with 8 to 9 games.
Well, when you put it that way, that's a fair point, actually. When you just put it in the hands of Daniel Jones, I'm like, oh, you got me there.
See, I told you, I don't trust Danny. I think they need a new quarterback. I will say, I think the Commanders and Cowboys will flip-flop depending on how early Dak Prescott comes back from injury.
Which, the earliest he can come back is against the Bears, but it's more likely, I think it's when they play the Packers.
Ooh, yeah. That is very rough.
Yeah. NFC North, Vikings.
You got the Vikings.
I do. We got the Vikings.
You know what? I think the Vikings are going to hop into first as well. I think Packers will finish second.
Yep.
I'm at a toss-up for the Bears and Lions right now, honestly.
I think the Lions will finish in third, and the Bears will actually be fourth.
And the thing is,
I think the Lions just have a more solid team.
Yes,
now.
Lions have a better roster, but I think the Bears just need to fix a couple of things, get a couple of new people, and I think they'll be able to rocket up towards the top pretty soon.
I mean, I would hope so, but for right now, I'm going to say they're at the bottom.
I hope Justin Fields is the answer for the Bears, honestly.
Oh, yeah, me too. I think he needs a better O-line and receiver corps to know for sure, though.
You definitely need a better O-line.
Yeah. Little two-year-old. Hi, Dad.
Special guest Caleb.
Yep, as usual. Okay, NFC West, Rams.
Really?
Yeah, no, I don't see it being another team. I don't think it can be the Seahawks. I don't think it can be the Niners, and I don't think it can be the Cardinals. I think it has to be the Rams.
Defending Super Bowl champions, it made sense. I just feel dirty putting it down.
Just chalk it up to a rusty first game, what happened earlier.
And also against possibly the new Super Bowl champions.
Yes, exactly. With that just brings us to the NFC South, which I believe it's going to be the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
I mean, who else would it be at this point? Maybe the Saints turn it around and win it.
Maybe, but my gut is to go with the Saints get second, the Panthers get third, the Falcons get fourth.
Yeah, I think I have to agree with you on that. Butts are going to take it. I think the Butts are just a better team, and it'll be a good way to Fumble from the Seahawks, and the Broncos are picked it up and run it back.
All right. Good
Got
job,
ourselves
defense.
a football game.
Yep, sure do. Yep, there's the switch over for me.
That was a
Hey.
good hit, too.
Yeah. All right, so to wrap this up, as far as where we think standings are going to be, hear me out on mine, because here's my prediction first. The AFC, 1 seed, the Bills. Agree or disagree?
Agree.
Yep. 2 seed, the Chiefs.
Okay.
3 seed, the Ravens.
Yep.
Which means 4 seed, the Colts.
Who's your
And
5?
then,
I was like, are we doing wild card as well?
yep, and I'm going to say 5 seed, Chargers. 6
Yep.
seed, Bengals. 7 seed, Raiders.
Yeah, I think I'm good with all of that.
Okay.
I think the Raiders might have a hard time just because of how strong their division is.
Yes, I agree, but I feel like if they can get over the Broncos, they might be able to back into the 7th seed.
Oh yeah, and especially with the way the Broncos are playing, it's hit or miss at the moment.
Yep, it's up in the air. NFC, this is where it might get tough. 1 seed, Rams.
Okay.
Agree? Disagree?
I can't disagree.
Okay. 2 seed, Vikings.
Yep. Okay.
3 seed, Buccaneers.
Okay.
4 seed, Eagles.
Okay.
I could possibly see the Eagles have the 3 seed, the Bucks have the 4 seed, though.
I was like, I want to put Eagles in seed 3 for the main reason is I feel like the NFC East is so bad that they might just be able to walk over the rest of their division.
But I feel like the same could almost be said for the Bucks in the NFC South.
I feel like the Bucks at least have competition with the Saints and potentially, depending if they figure out how to not choke, the Falcons.
Yeah. Okay.
That's
fair.
if they figure out how not to choke for once.
Maybe if McCaffrey stays healthy too, maybe even the Panthers.
But I would probably put the Eagles at 3. Like I think they're very, very close, and it's going to just be who has the weaker division.
No, I would agree with that. That leaves the wild card seeds. I am going to say the 5 seed goes to the Packers.
Yeah, even though I don't like it.
Yeah, no, I agree. Okay. And 6 seed. No, I got it. 6 seed, Saints.
Yeah.
7 seed, Cardinals.
7 seed Cardinals. I don't know if I can agree with Cardinals. I would say the 49ers if they swap back to Jimmy G, but I don't know if that's going to happen.
I don't know if it is either.
Oh.
That's a tough one. It's really interesting how we said the AFC seemed pretty cut and dry, but the NFC, there's a lot of, I don't know.
Ugh, I don't know who to put in the 7th seed because I'm just looking. I'm like, they're all so bad. I might take a shot and just say maybe the Commanders pull out a surprise.
Oh. Wow. Okay.
Like I said, I'm throwing all of it just at the wall and hoping something sticks.
Yeah, that's definitely throwing something at the wall, and it's something that the word that's coming to mind is a word I should not be using.
Please don't.
Anyway,
Oh.
with that being said, that is the end of our episode. We've got our potential, I guess you could say, beginning of our season playoff calculator, playoff ideas, and we'll see where this goes here going into this second week, seeing if some teams will pick it up, others might actually do what we expect them to do, and hopefully we're not going to have a bunch more injuries.
And hopefully kickers can actually make a kick for once.
Yeah, what was up with that?
I don't know. I mean, I knew that my team does not have a kicker, but he was missing like a 33-yard field goal. The Chiefs kicker gets injured. They have their safety come out, and he can drill a field goal better than our kicker, whose whole job is to kick a field goal.
At least when he kicked it, it didn't hit the goalpost twice in the middle of an important playoff game.
Yes, we know the double doink makes people very, very sad.
I'm just trying to offer you some comfort here. That's all. And just say it could be worse.
It could be worse. The thing is,
I guess it is kind of worse for you.
The thing is,
that didn't really help.
The thing is with Cody Parkey, part of me is like, that was really bad luck, but it's also like kind of skill that hit both parts of a goalpost.
I know, right? It's rare.
Oh man. And then just that Gridiron Heights episode with Matt Nagy and Cody Parkey just staring at each other.
Yep.
Matt Nagy's about to blow a blood vessel while Cody Parkey just looks like he's been lost in space for years.
Yeah, he's just thoroughly uninterested. All right, then.
All right. That. We will see you guys next time.
Have a good night. Broncos country. Let's ride.
Gosh dang it.